You ever get to the bottom of a long page in an app or on a website, only to realize that the button you next want to press is right back at the top? Well, TapScroll is a seriously useful application that's been designed to help. With the app installed and activated, you just tap your status bar, and just like that, the page will scroll back to the top automatically. And you can even dive into the settings to add additional gestures and actions if you like, which is really cool. Alright, second on the list today is an app called CleverType, which is an AI-based keyboard application with some seriously neat tricks up its sleeve. So on top of just being your standard keyboard replacement app, complete with super reliable autocorrect and even glide typing, you also get 3 main AI-based tools to go with. You have the Ask ChatGPT tool, which will respond to any text that you've typed. There's the Word Tone tool, which you can use to rewrite anything you've typed into a bunch of different wording formats. And then finally, there's the Fix Grammar tool, which is pretty self-explanatory. And there is, of course, some delay when using these tools. It's not instantaneous, similar to using the ChatGPT platform itself, but having these tools baked directly into your keyboard is a seriously convenient bit of functionality. Okay, moving on to a bit of a throwback now, and Nokia 1280 Launcher is a seriously fun third-party launcher app that'll transport you back about 20 years. So as you can see, with this app installed and set as your phone's default launcher, it'll instantly transform your home screen into this vintage Nokia handset looking configuration. You've got your numbers down the bottom for quickly dialing any number you like, which, yes, used to be the main purpose of our mobile phones. Then you've got this big middle button here, which opens up an app drawer. Then there's also this button on the right, which gives you quick access to some quick settings toggles. You can even tap this button on the left here to access a few built-in services like a mobile browser and a camera app. And even though there is supposedly an inbuilt Snake game coming in the future, sadly, it wasn't implemented at the time of making this video. But if you're instead looking to be transported into the future, then might I suggest trying this sci-fi launcher called Jarvis. This launcher is like jumping straight into a Marvel movie, and it's filled to the brim with seriously cool animations and sound effects throughout that help to enhance the entire experience. On the home screen here, you have shortcuts to a calendar page, weather information, there's a toggle for your flashlight, a really cool looking dialer, plus a bunch more, but then you also have this voice assistant shortcut in the middle here that essentially lets you launch a bunch of different actions using voice prompts. There's also a stack of customization options as well, some of which do require a paid upgrade, but what's really cool is that along with some of the other apps featured in today's video, if you sign up as a channel member within the first 2 weeks of this video going live, then you will actually get said paid upgrade of this app completely for free. After that, we have Sense Weather, which is an app developed by the OneLab team at OnePlus, and it aims to make understanding the weather more about feel rather than detailed stats. So this main page here will show you any location that you've set up, and even just looking at the different cards on this screen here gives you an idea of what the weather is like in each place thanks to their various color palettes. You can then, of course, tap on each location card to get an even bigger visual representation of the current weather, and you can also swipe down here for a few additional details. But what's really cool is that you can also long press each location to essentially feel an interpretation of the weather through a combo of haptics and sounds. Now, this feature isn't fully working yet as it seems to play the same sounds and haptic pattern for every location, but the concept is really cool, so I'm super keen to see this working properly, hopefully sometime soon. Okay, before we get to the next app, if you're in the market for a new case for your phone, then you should totally check out one of the many incredible options from today's video sponsor, CASETiFY. And that's because their cases offer not just military grade level protection, but actually 5 times the level of military grade protection. And that's thanks to this EcoShock lining found within each of their cases. Like if you're someone who's particularly prone to dropping phones, then that is something you do not have to worry about at all with these cases. And thanks to that level of protection, which also features these slightly raised lips that protect the screen and the cameras, I was happy to do this drop test with my only review unit of the Galaxy S23 Ultra back when I was reviewing it that I had to return shortly after on concrete. And there was no damage at all anywhere on the phone following the test. All of their cases are made from recyclable materials, and there are a staggering amount of design options available, including a bunch of these high-profile collabs like with the Mandalorian series, Alice in Wonderland, and even Harry Potter. And if that wasn't enough, you can also customize your case to make it completely unique and one of a kind. So to pick one up for yourself, use the special link below to get a handy 15% off today. Okay, next up is a super handy app called Transcribe for WhatsApp. The name kind of gives its functionality away, but essentially, anytime you receive a voice message via WhatsApp, you can then share that voice message to Transcriber, and it'll then generate a super accurate text-based transcript that you can then read at your leisure. This is amazing because now you can read your private voice messages in places where you otherwise would not have wanted them to be heard. Plus, the app also has a really nice material design language to go with, which looks fantastic. Then there's Amarok, which is a super minimal application that lets you hide files and apps with a single click. You just select any folders you'd like to hide as well as any apps, and then you just tap this big hide button right here. And then it'll do exactly what it says on the tin, meaning you won't find any of your hidden apps anywhere on your phone's launcher. And if you try and access the hidden folders in a File Explorer application, they'll just show as empty. You can also get the app to work via Shizuku, meaning it does not need root access. Plus, it's got a super clean material-based design as well. Now, it takes a lot for a wallpaper app to stand out these days, and that's because aside from the wallpapers themselves, the apps mostly all use the same core base design. Well, WallReels is an app that bucks that trend in a big way. And that's because instead of your fairly standard layout, this app takes on the style of a TikTok or YouTube Shorts feed, presenting wallpapers in a never-ending scrollable fashion. Once you see a wallpaper you like, you can then use the shortcut down here to see the colors used in the wallpaper, or to quickly apply it, or even to download it directly to your phone. And I've got to say, there's something super satisfying about being able to see the wallpapers large and full screen right away. All right, second to last today is an app simply called Reminders, a pretty creative reminders app with tons of functionality to go with. Now, as you can see, when you launch the app, you're presented with this super unique card style layout for your different reminder categories. And what I really love is how you can swipe and drag these cards around to change which one is in focus. But then on top of that, like I said, each reminder has the potential for stacks of functionality too, like attaching images or adding subtasks or adding time-based reminder notifications and repeating notifications, plus a bunch more. So it really is a fully fledged reminders app that's worth checking out. And then the last app for today is called Giga Icon, perhaps the simplest app on today's list, but a super fun one nonetheless. This app essentially lets you create giant shortcuts to your favorite apps that you can then place on your home screen. And that's really it. You can, of course, resize them as you see fit, but the great thing is that it sources the highest quality versions of each of your app's icons, meaning they all look super crisp no matter how big you make them. The app obviously has the potential to improve usability for those with visual impairments, but I can also see this being a very fun way to customize your phone's home screen with just a little bit of creativity. But that's it, 10 incredible applications that I reckon are seriously cool. Now, as mentioned, I do also have a bunch of promo codes available for some of the apps featured in today's video, so a huge shout out to the developers behind the apps on screen right now. And if you want to get one yourself, then just tap that join button below to sign up as a channel member, then join the channel Discord, and that's it. As well as that, if today's list of apps didn't quite satisfy your craving for Android app recommendations, then I highly recommend checking out my very own application shelf, which has now become my first port of call whenever I'm putting together these Android app videos. But aside from that, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you later.